We're standing now in the great room, the Aula Magna as we call it, and the reason for the creation of this room is that we found in living on the St. Anne's campus, we had one house that had a rather larger, slightly larger room. We called the solarium because it was filled with light. It was sort of on the back of the house. And that seemed to be the place where people would gather and a place for sort of congregating before we had our common meals. And so we kind of wanted to create that space again, but create it in a larger fashion since we were crammed in there in the old one, and a place where people can play their music and have good conversation and play chess or cards or things like that. So this is kind of the space for those sort of gatherings before we have common meals together. And so it has a nice vaulted ceiling so you don't feel so crammed, and sort of the centerpiece of the entire thing, of course, something that's dear to my own heart, is a fireplace. And the interesting thing about the fireplace was that the surround of the fireplace is actually carved limestone. And so we were able to talk with a school down in Charleston, an art school that does carving. And so speaking with their president, I was able to talk them into sort of doing this as a senior project. And so the pieces of the mantle surround were done by different students there, and they can put that in their CV and their portfolio, and we're looking forward to some cold weather to get our first fire going. We also have a series of bookshelves and things for some of our more rare books, and so those kind of stay in the great room themselves, but men can look at them here and study them as they will. But we've been blessed with a number of people, and priests in particular, that have given us a lot of their books from their own libraries. So we have books everywhere all over the seminary, and some of our best books are here in the great room. The dinosaur, the T-Rex, is kind of a joke. Our very first year, we were learning Latin with our wonderful magistra, Dr. Nancy Llewellyn, with the Alpha class. And it became sort of a play on words that since T-Rex is already, Tyrannosaurus Rex is already a Latin word, that they somehow transformed that, mutated that into the T-Rector. And so I was the one that was I suppose, man-eating dinosaur. And they gave me that T-Rex, and they made a little doctoral beretta to put on top. The joke back then was that if you walk by the T-Rex and you see his mouth open, stay away from Father. If his mouth is closed, it's time to ask for favors. So it was just kind of a joke. So we've kind of kept it wherever our gathering space was. We've kept the T-Rex. Other interesting features is the oriel window. You can see it from the outside, that wonderful stone structure that juts out from the building. It lets all this light in this room, and kind of shows the huge picturesque panoramic view of the driveway as you come in. There's a couple curious pictures that are up in the great room. One is a set of two papal bulls, and a papal bull was basically a decree from the Holy Father, and those two paintings have to do with permissions that were given to St. Catherine. So we have lots of ecclesiastical pictures like that up in the seminary.